Next item on your agenda is filed before the Arkansas Commission on Law Enforcement Standards and Training in the matter of Christian Morphis.
Yes, sir.
While Mr. Newcomb and his client get settled, I will go ahead and take judicial notice of both the statutes and the rules that are governing this hearing. Arkansas Code annotated sections 12-9-101 at sequence, and the Arkansas Administrative Procedures Act, Arkansas Code annotated sections 25-15-201 at sequence. Counsel, would you identify yourselves for the record?
Robert Newcomb, attorney for Mr. Morphis.
Thank you, Mr. Newcomb.
Steve Taylor, attorney for the department.
Ms. Newcomb, would you be so kind as to pull that microphone towards you and make sure it's turned on?
Test.
Although I usually project pretty well even without a microphone, but I need all the help I can get, so.
Yes, sir.
All right, I've got, it looks like, I'm afraid I'm going to change this. No, didn't flip on me. I've got 12 exhibits from staff. Is that right, Mr. Taylor?
Yes, sir.
All right, move the admission of those 12.
I do.
No objection.
Thank you very much. Mr. Newcomb, without objection, exhibits 1 through 12 were admitted. Just before the hearing started, I was handed 2 exhibits from the respondent. Respondent's exhibit 1 looks like an email from Mr. Aaron, and then respondent's number 2, case file summary dated November 1st, 2024. Move the admission of those 2 exhibits, Mr. Newcomb.
Yes.
Any objection, Mr. Taylor?
No objection.
Thank you very much. Without objection, respondents 1 and 2 are admitted. We'll go ahead and go off the record for a few minutes. I apologize. Mr. Taylor, how many witnesses do you have?
I have 2.
2. Mr. Newcomb, how about you, sir?
1.
1. All right, we'll go ahead and go off the record. Give the commission an opportunity to review the documents that have been admitted. Looks like a skinnier package this time around, so I'm guessing probably 5 to 10 minutes, maybe less. We'll go ahead and go off the record.
Watch the entirety. I'm the first testified. Watch the entirety.
And talk to Taylor. He agreed that you don't look at the small screen.
Okay. It just says review by camera. It doesn't say watch the entire thing.
Commissioners, you ready to proceed? I believe that's the case. We'll go back on the record. Mr. Taylor, I'm sorry, do you wish to waive opening statement?
I'll waive opening.
Mr. Newcomb, same?
Same.
Thank you so much. Ms. Taylor, how about your first witness, please?
I think just a housekeeping issue before
Sure.
Mr. Newcomb and I spoke earlier. One of the exhibits that we had entered is a car camera video of the suspect in this case, the individual who was charged. It just shows her approximately 42 minutes of her being in the back seat, being transported to jail. And Mr. Newcomb, if I'm wrong on this, if I've mischaracterized this, please correct me, but I think we've stipulated that the video, if we watch the whole thing, this individual is not going to be seen moving erratically or digging in her waistband. That was
Mr.
a
Newcomb?
42-minute video.
Are you on the same page with Mr. Taylor?
Mr. Taylor and I, for a change, are on the same page. We both felt that you wouldn't really want to watch 42 minutes with your schedule from yesterday and what you still have to go today.
Well, thank you, Mr. Newcomb. I know the commission appreciates it, so that means you're not going to play this 42 minutes of video, is that right?
No, sir, not unless the commission is itching to see it.
I could be disabused of that notion as well, but I sincerely doubt it. All right, with that stipulation in place, would you please call your first witness?
Call Sergeant McKibben.
Sergeant, do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this hearing is going to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Have a seat, please. And Sergeant, I don't know you. I think you've sat through the majority of today's events, and you're probably already aware that the microphone has a nasty habit of cutting in and out. So if it does, just keep plowing ahead. We'll do our best. Go ahead, Mr. Taylor.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Sergeant. Can you state your name and occupation, please?
Sergeant Christiana McKibben. I'm currently the commander of our Office of Professional Standards.
And how long have you been in that position?
As the commander?
Sure. Or how long have you been in OPS?
2.5 years.
So were you employed in that capacity in October of 2024?
I was.
Did you work with then Lieutenant Daniels at the time?
I did.
And it was Lieutenant Daniels who was assigned to investigate a complaint from a citizen named Amanda Price regarding an allegation of false arrest by Trooper Morphis, correct?
Correct.
And although
Mr. Taylor, I am so sorry. I apologize. I forgot to get on the record that Commissioner Rhodes is recusing from this matter.
Certainly.
Slipped my mind.
Certainly. So although Lieutenant Daniels was the lead investigator on this, you did assist with this investigation,
Correct.
and you're familiar with the facts of this case.
Correct.
Did you know Christian Morphis to be a certified law enforcement officer at all times relevant to this case?
Yes.
And did Lieutenant Daniels prepare a written summary of his investigation? And I'm looking at Exhibit 5, pages 172 to 176.
Yes.
Can you tell us about the traffic stop and arrest that became the subject of this complaint?
Just one moment. From what I recall, Mr. Morphis conducted a traffic stop on a Miss Price in a pickup truck because he knew her to have a suspended license. I believe he had had multiple encounters with her prior to that, and so he arrested her for continuing to drive on a suspended license.
Okay. And after her arrest, was she transported to the Drew County Jail?
Yes.
Did anything happen on arrival at Drew County that led to the drug possession charges being filed against her?
Once he got her out of the vehicle, it appeared that that's at the point that he noticed paraphernalia of some sort, white substance in a clear plastic baggie laying in the floorboard where she had been placed.
Did this traffic stop and the ride to the jail was all captured on car camera and body camera? So we're not going to play it, but it does exist, is that correct?
That's correct.
And you've had an opportunity to review all of those recordings?
I have.
Does Trooper Morphis tell her anything about how, initially, how he knows the drugs must be hers? Does he give an explanation for how he knows the drugs weren't in there before she got there?
He said that right before he stopped her, he had taken his car through the car wash and vacuumed the entire vehicle.
And you were able to verify, in fact, that that did happen?
Correct.
Did Trooper Morphis tell her at any point in the recording that you recall that he would review the camera footage in his car and that he will see where she dumped the drugs?
Yes.
Did Trooper Morphis file a police report regarding the drug possession charge?
He did an incident report, if I remember correctly.
Okay, and in looking at that report, and I'm looking at Exhibit 4, page 114, does Trooper Morphis write anything indicating he had reviewed his car camera footage?
Yes, that's what he wrote in his narrative, is that he took the time to go back and review the in-car camera video in which
He observed her moving erratically during the transport from the scene of the stop to the jail.
And that he also said that he saw her digging in her waistband, is that correct?
That's correct.
When the camera footage was reviewed in its entirety, is there any point in which Ms. Prince is seen moving very erratically or digging in her waistband?
Other than brief periods of time where she turns her head and looks around out the window, she doesn't move at all.
So to characterize that as very erratic movement or digging in her waistband, that was just not true, correct?
That would be a correct statement, yes.
So the video doesn't match Trooper Morphis' statement in his report.
Correct.
And this incorrect statement or erroneous statement, at least in part, was relied on when making a decision to charge Ms. Prince with felony drug possession.
I would assume so.
Was Trooper Morphis given an opportunity to review the entire 42-minute car cam footage?
At what point?
During your investigation, did either you or Lieutenant Daniels review it with him?
I believe Lieutenant Daniels did during the interview process.
Did he admit to Lieutenant Daniels that he couldn't see anywhere in the entire 42 minutes where she could be seen digging in her waistband?
That's correct.
Did he have any explanation why he would write in his report that he had seen her digging in her waistband?
I'd have to go back and review the transcript to have it completely accurate, but just based off memory, I think he said it was a mistake.
Okay. Did Ms. Prince take her drug possession case to trial?
I think so, yes.
And do you know what the result of that trial was?
It was dismissed. If I remember, she won.
Did the prosecutor's office, and I'm looking at Lieutenant Daniels' summary, again, Exhibit 5, page 172, Lieutenant Daniels spoke with the prosecutor's office to get an indication why he felt the jury had acquitted Ms. Prince.
What's your question?
Did the prosecutor tell Lieutenant Daniels why the jury had acquitted her?
Mr. Chairman, I know the rules of evidence don't necessarily apply here, but what we're having is a prosecutor's educated guess. There's no showing that he was allowed by the court to talk to the jurors, and it's his impression, and then he tells his guess to Lieutenant Daniels. So it's highly speculative with very little foundation. I've tried, I don't know how many cases, and I'm not going to tell you I could ever guess why jurors did certain things.
Mr. Newcomb, I don't necessarily disagree, but as your opening line said, hearsay is admissible in an administrative hearing.
Well, this is
this is fairly attenuated, I'll give you that. Mr. Taylor, what's your response?
I'll withdraw the question.
Okay, then I'll go ahead and sustain the objection. Oh, well, I guess I don't have to if you withdraw the question. Please proceed, Mr. Taylor.
Did Lieutenant Daniels take it upon himself to review any of Trooper Morphis' previous stops in the days prior to
Yes, he
December
did.
17th stop? And what did he discover?
He discovered a traffic stop, I think the day before, in which Mr. Morphis had pulled over another gentleman. I don't remember what the cause was. However, he ended up arresting this gentleman, and prior to him being put in the back of the car, you can see him digging into his pockets. He was wearing waders, like full chest waders, and like dropping whatever it was down into his waders. And then in the in-car camera during transport, he does move erratically and appears to dig inside the waders and drop something into the floorboard.
Okay, and we do have that on video. I promise it's much shorter, so we will show that. So, Krisha, I guess it's Exhibit 8 first.
Cut your car off. You lost your mind? Okay, it's in your door. There's a freaking ambulance out there. Triple State Police. Let me see your driver's license.
I'm just running 104. I'm just trying to get to my grandma, sir. That's all I got. All I got. They just caught me at work.
Where's the weed at?
I ain't got no weed, sir.
Your car smells like it. Get out. 104 and a 55. Go back there. You got anything on? Come here. Get out the middle of the road. Put your hands up here. That's how people die.
I'm sorry, sir.
Put your hands up there.
What?
You're going to a fender bender in your door.
I didn't know it was a fender bender, sir.
What is that?
I just got off work, sir.
You lost your
What
mind.
you put in here for you, dude?
Is there any weed in the car? It sure smells like it. So you think that's okay to run 104? Well, the freak happens if somebody pulls out in front of you and you cause a wreck because you're running 104.
I'm sorry.
Sorry don't cut it when you freaking kill somebody because you T-bone them at 104. That's stupid.
It's stupid if I want to take on my phone.
No, it's stupid because you're running freaking over speed.
Already able. Well, I'm 224, 65 South T-Boy James Road. It's a gray Camaro. 854 Union Frankmore. 854 Union Frankmore. So I'm in next list 1011. I'm on 1015.
Leave your hands there, step back to me. Leave your hands there. Step back, step back, step back, step back. Spread your legs. Spread your legs. Where do you work at? All right, put your left hand back here. Put your palms together like you're praying to do more fun. Producer's right, stand like that. Put your palms together like you're praying. Alright. We place under arrest for reckless driving, 104 and a 59. You got the right to make sign and you say for the law, right there, attorney. And not present any questioning. Can I appoint an attorney with people for charge? Wish to answer the questions. Not attorney present, is that right? These other personal, we got policies, we got policies. We got a regular reference.
And then if you can go to Exhibit 9, which is the other stream, it's going to be the camera from inside the car. And for the record, we're starting it just prior to the individual being put in the back seat.
Alright. We place under arrest for reckless driving, motor forward and 59. Got the right to make silent as you say can and will be dismissed for the law, right there, attorney. And not present any questioning. Can I appoint an attorney with people for charge? Wish to answer the questions. Not attorney present, is that right? These other personal, we got policies, we got policies. We got a record reference. I called the record to be the Dixon away that I'll let you know when they get here.
Can you try to come in?
I ain't got to beat you up, man. But you're running over the other three. Well, actually, yeah, you are running over the three.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's how people don't make on the records.
When somebody calls you, say you're somebody in your
I'm going to
family.
use my head and not run over the three. Alright, yeah. But they going to jail. How about this hook? It smells like there's weed somewhere in that car. It's loud. I'll run it.
Does the gentleman there at one point says, expletive, I should have thrown that shit out, man.
Yes.
Is he moving erratically?
Yes.
Does it look like he's maybe trying to get rid of something that might be in his waistband or his pocket?
Yes.
Certainly more so than Ms. Prince in her video.
Absolutely.
Was Trooper Morphis shown this video as well?
Yes.
And did he agree that after seeing it, that it was far more likely the drugs he found and attributed to Ms. Prince had been discarded by this subject 3 days previous?
Yes.
In your conversations and Lieutenant Daniel's conversations with Trooper Morphis, did he make reference to any issues he was having recently regarding his attitude?
He did. He explained, I believe they had a newborn baby, so he was a new parent. The baby had been sick a lot. He wasn't getting much sleep, and he agreed that his attitude was poor and he was working on it.
Did Lieutenant Daniels forward his report up the chain of command at the state police?
He did.
And is there anything else you feel the commission should know about this case? Okay, nothing further. Pass the witness.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor. Mr. Newcomb?
Let me scoot up.
Scoot up, pull the microphone close to you, Mr. Newcomb.
Well, I run out of
Don't
room.
make it difficult on yourself.
I will try not to. Sergeant, do you know Mr. Morphis personally? Or I know you're both with the state police. That doesn't mean you know each other.
We do not know each other personally, no.
Okay. Do you know if he had any prior disciplinary actions during the time he's been with the state police prior to this incident?
Off the top of my head, no. I'd have to go back and look.
Okay. Now, were you actually present for the interview by Lieutenant Daniels, now Captain Daniels, with Mr. Morphis?
Not in the room, but I was watching from my office.
Okay, so you had closed circuit TV.
We do, yes.
Okay. Would you agree with me that Mr. Morphis's attitude in that interview was, I'm sorry, I messed up, I didn't act professionally,
It was, yes.
that I should have done a better job,
Yes.
took full responsibility for not doing the job properly?
Yes.
Now, even when he talked about the problems that a newborn, I think he said that it had colic and a form of acid reflux, that wasn't an excuse, it was just a factor. He wasn't trying to blame that for his lack of doing his job professionally, correct?
We may have to agree to disagree on that one.
Okay. Did he talk about that he was working on it?
He did, yes.
And he talked about the stopping of her. There's no question, or let me rephrase that. She, in fact, had a suspended license, didn't she, at that time?
She did.
And that was about the 5th time he had stopped her for driving on a suspended license. I think he said that. I don't know if you verified that.
I know it was multiple times. I couldn't tell you an exact number.
And so she would be, I would call a chronic offender on driving without a license.
It would appear that way, yes.
And now his backseat, we saw the video of it from the other stop. He had not a full cage, but a half cage, correct?
That's correct.
And at that time, when he stopped those 2 individuals, he had his shotgun and rifle in holders neck by the cage, correct?
And they're gun locks, yes.
Gun locks. I couldn't think of the right term. Thank you. And now I'm not saying they obstructed completely, but they were a visual impairment, correct?
You can definitely see that they're there, yes.
Now, when Officer Morphis put her in the back seat, he would have been looking into the, or could be looking at the floorboard on the passenger side, correct?
When he put her into the back seat,
Yes.
he could see into the floorboard. That's what you're asking me?
Yeah, to the floorboard of the back seat.
It's possible, but I can't tell you that he did look.
I'm not asking you since you weren't there.
Right.
Now, the video doesn't show in his car what was going on with anybody's feet in the back seat, does it?
No, sir.
Now, the back seat with the half cage in it, are you familiar with how it's attached to the front seat?
I don't work in the install shop, so I couldn't attest to the mechanics of it, no.
Do you know if there's space between the cage and the floorboard underneath the seat, that the cage fits up flush with the bottom of the seat and there's a space between it and the floorboard?
If you're asking me if I know that, I can't say that I do. I know everybody's patrol car is slightly different, and mine had a full cage, so I cannot testify to that.
Fair enough. I was just asking you if you knew or not, okay?
I do not, sir.
Now, there's no doubt that there was dope found in the back seat by Officer Morphis when he took Miss Price out of the car, correct?
No doubt for who?
That there was dope physically in the car.
There was dope physically in the car. That is not doubted, no.
Now, when he wrote his report, do you have it? It's exhibit number 5 there in front of you.
He, as in Lieutenant Daniels?
No, he as in Mr. Morphis, his incident report. Here's what I'm looking for it, it'd be behind tab number 5, I believe.
It's not 5 for me, I'm sorry.
Mr. Newcomb, are you trying to find the police report that he filed?
Yes.
I have that in our exhibits as Exhibit 4, page 114.
Thank you.
4, I'm sorry. It'd be the second page of that report.
Okay.
Okay, would you read that last paragraph out loud, please?
Starting with the
On or a review?
A review.
Okay. A review of my backseat camera revealed Miss Prince moving very erratically for a short period of time and appeared to be digging in her waistline shortly before the narcotics were found.
Okay, and I may have written it down wrong, but I think you said that he said that she did it for a long period of time when you were testifying on direct. So that would, if you said long period of time, that would have been an error.
I think it was an error on your part, sir. I didn't give a time period.
Well, the record reflects whatever the record reflects.
Okay.
Did Officer Morphis say what screen he reviewed the video from his dash camera on?
In his interview,
Yes.
he admitted he did not review it.
You certain of that?
If you'll give me a moment to go back and look, but that's my recollection. Again, I didn't do the interview. He said if he did, he does not remember. But if he did, he knows he would have reviewed it on my little screen, meaning the in-car video monitor.
So, and when you all, I'm talking about the state police professional standards, I don't know if you personally reviewed it or not, so that's why I'm wanting to characterize what I mean by you all, okay? That was on a full-size screen, correct?
On a monitor, yes, that's correct.
21-inch like monitor, like a TV monitor, computer monitor,
Just a computer monitor, yes.
much larger than the screen.
It is, yes.
Did Officer Morphis ever claim that after looking at things that he hadn't made a mistake in arresting her for the drugs?
That he had?
Hadn't made a mistake. That he made a mistake in arresting her.
Again, I'd have to kind of glance over it if you want to give me a minute.
We can pass it on. He'll testify if there's a question about it.
Okay.
Would you look at my exhibit number 2 for a moment, which is the last page of Captain Daniels' report. Would you read to the commission what he said?
You want me to read the whole paragraph?
Yes. That way, we're not leaving any of it out, okay?
We reviewed this traffic stop video during the interview. Morphis agreed it was highly likely the narcotics were discarded from the December 14th arrest. I reiterated the lack of due diligence regarding the charges filed against Ms. Prince. Morphis humbly understood and accepted my viewpoints. In conclusion, Morphis plans to learn from this experience. He expressed self-reflection, actively on a path of improvement.
And since you were monitoring, viewing the same interview as Captain Daniels, would you agree with Captain Daniels' observation in that paragraph?
It appeared for this to be true, yes.
Now, y'all interviewed him in October, is that correct? I can get the
Yes.
exact.
Yeah. October 30th.
And then after, I'm going through the process, I know the commission's familiar with it. After Office of Professional Standards got through with it, it's sent to a review board, is that correct?
Review board, it's called the CSRB. It's comprised of the command staff review board, yes.
And do you remember the date that was held?
No, but I'm sure it's in here.
Would October 30th sound approximate?
That would be incorrect. October 30th was the date he was interviewed.
I mean, November 21st, I'm missing my own notes.
That could be possible, yes.
Okay, and would you look at my exhibit number 1?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying you've seen it before today. Would you take a moment to look at it?
Okay.
Who wrote that memo according to the exhibit?
The email was sent by Lieutenant Colonel Jason Aaron.
And what was the date that Lieutenant Colonel Aarons sent that email?
December 11th, 2024.
And did that email indicate that that there had been a decision made that Mr. Morphis would be terminated?
Yes.
And do you know when he was terminated?
Not off the top of my head, but again, it's in here if you would like for me to find it.
He can testify to that too.
Okay.
To your knowledge, was Officer Morphis ever suspended prior to being terminated?
Not to my knowledge. I'm not saying he wasn't, just not that I know of.
Do you know, and you may not, assume from my question that he was allowed to work until, and in fact worked through January the 7th, the day before he was terminated?
Oh, you're asking me while the investigation?
Yes.
Oh, no, he was not put on leave. He was not suspended.
Okay, I'm sorry about it. I didn't make, I was, you're thinking I was talking about a
Ever,
previous
yes,
one,
yes.
ever. No, that was my bad.
Okay. No, he was not suspended or anything like that.
So he was still, the state police did not think he was enough of a danger to remove him from the highway.
I don't make those decisions and cannot testify to what they thought.
Well, let's put it this way. He was, if he was not suspended and was still working, he was out there being able to arrest people, charge them, act as a full state trooper, correct?
That would be correct, yes.
No other questions?
Thank you, Ms. Newcomb. Ms. Taylor? any
No,
follow-up?
I don't have anything. Thank you.
Commissioners, any questions? Apparently not.
I do have
Oh, I'm sorry, Sheriff Woods.
just a matter of clarity. Sergeant, just want to make sure my dates are right. Date of arrest was December 17, 2023 for Mrs. Price.
Do you mind if I?
Sure.
Okay.
December 17th, 2023, that's correct.
And the court date was a little bit less than a year later.
December 19th, she had her first appearance.
And,
The case was set for jury trial September 20th, 2024.
okay. But her initial complaint, I guess, to ASP occurred after the trial, after the acquittal?
Correct.
Okay. Last question. As a result of the acquittal by the jury, did it result in any pending or civil litigation, anything like that? From her that you know of?
I believe, yes, she has filed a lawsuit. I think that's what I've seen.
Okay. Thank you. Nothing further.
Any other questions from the commission? Based on that question from the commission, follow-up, Mr. Taylor?
No, sir.
Mr. Newcomb?
Just a moment, Your Honor. May I approach the witness for just a minute?
I'm sorry, Mr.
May I
Newcomb?
approach the witness?
Yeah, sure.
I'm not introducing this. Sergeant, I want to show you a transcript from the criminal trial.
Okay.
And just ask, I'm going to ask you what day it shows that trial occurred on.
Okay.
I know you weren't there, so. Sergeant, did I show you during the break a partial transcript from the jury trial in this case in Drew County Circuit Court?
Yes.
And what date does that show that that trial occurred on?
September 20th, 2024.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Newcomb. Ms. Taylor?
Nothing further.
Sergeant, thank you very much for your testimony. Ms. Taylor, next witness, please.
Call Lieutenant Colonel Aaron.
You swear to affirm the testimony you're about to give in this hearing is going to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you, sir. Have a seat.
Good afternoon, Colonel.
Good afternoon.
You state your name and occupation, please.
Jason Aaron, Lieutenant Colonel for the Arkansas State Police.
And how long have you been in that position, sir?
About 3.5 years.
You were acting in that capacity in October of 2024.
Yes, sir.
And have you been made aware of an OPS investigation into allegations against former Trooper Morphis surrounding his actions during a traffic stop and subsequent drug arrest from December of 2023, I believe?
Yes, sir.
Have you had an opportunity to review the summary and the findings?
Yes.
And calling your attention to pages 182 and 184 of the findings of we've heard about the Command Staff Review Board. Have you had an opportunity to review that?
Yes.
What, if any, of the policy violations did the CSRB substantiate against Trooper Morphis?
CSRB substantiated for violating rules of conduct, DPS Policy 108. Employees are expected to comply with all standards of acceptable behavior and conduct themselves in a manner that contributes to the positive reputation of the department and its divisions. Violating DPS Policy 601 documentation submitted by employees should be truthful, accurate, complete, legible, and submitted on time. Employees will not knowingly enter or cause to be entered any inaccurate, false, untrue, or improper information or misrepresentations on any report or any other document that relates to department or division business. And also ASP Policy Law Enforcement Section 14, prisoners, transportation of prisoners prior to being placed in the patrol vehicle and transported, prisoners should be thoroughly searched.
Was Trooper Morphis terminated from the state police?
Yes, sir.
And as a representative of the Arkansas State Police here today, are you asking the commission to vote to decertify Christian Morphis?
Yes, we are.
Thank you. I pass the witness.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor. Mr. Newcomb, any questions?
Yes, if you, Colonel, you were here when I was questioning the sergeant, and she couldn't explain why you wrote the memo you did, so I'm going to give you a chance to, okay? Would you look at my exhibit number 1? It's there on
This email?
yes.
Yeah, this is an email that I submitted to Donna Humphreys to prepare a letter from Colonel Hager for the termination of Trooper First Class Christian Morphis for violating the below policies that are listed.
What was the date of that email?
This date's December 11th.
And by December 11th, we had the complaint come in to the state police, the completion of the investigation by professional standards, a meeting of the command staff board. I know I didn't get the name completely right.
I understand.
Then, and if I understand the procedure, it's after the board meets, they send their findings to you. You review them just to make sure everything's in order for the colonel, correct?
Correct.
You don't have a vote, so to speak, on what happens.
Well, the Colonel Hager and I, the division commander and that troop commander will all have a say in the final determination on what happens.
Okay, so would it be fair to assume that by December 11th, that the group of individuals had concluded that Mr. Morphis should be separated from the state police?
It just depends. Sometimes this letter is done to get on Donna Humphrey's to-do list as far as preparing that letter. Then that letter is prepared. Conversations are had back and forth between the colonel and I, or me and the division commander, or that trooper's captain. There's discussion that takes place while she prepares that letter. That letter is reviewed. It's reviewed by myself. It's also reviewed by our legal counsel to make sure that the letter's proper.
Do you remember whether there was any meetings to discuss the appropriate discipline involving Mr. Morphis after December 11th and prior to January 7th?
I'm sure there were.
Do you remember any? Not whether you're sure or not. Can you tell us whether there was or wasn't?
I can tell you that 100% of the time there are continuous communications that take place on disciplinary. This is it's a young man's career.
Now, he was never placed on leave without pay or leave with pay, was he?
Correct, he was not.
He was out working as a state trooper until the day before he was terminated, correct?
I would assume so. I haven't looked at his work schedule.
So there was no great concern he posed a danger to the community being a state trooper during that period of time after the completion of the investigation and the review of it and the findings of misconduct.
I don't think there was a fear of any sort of physical harm to the public, no.
Did you review the actual interview between the lieutenant and Mr. Morphis that was done by professional standards?
Yes, sir.
Would you agree that Mr. Morphis was humble about that he had done wrong? He accepted the responsibility?
I would.
That he indicated he had learned from it?
Yes.
That he had already started working on some coping skills for the future.
I would agree with that.
That he expressed remorsefulness for what had happened.
Yeah, yes.
And now, were you, and I know it's been a while since you had a patrol car with a cage in it. Might not even had cages back
No,
then.
we had cages.
I remember when we didn't have cages. Do you know, and you may not because of the length of time and not ever having one, whether there was space between the bottom of the seat and the floorboard that somebody could get their foot into there in the back seat?
I'm not aware of Mr. Morphis's cage.
And I, like I said, I know it's been a while, so I didn't.
And I can speak on the cages that I had, and yes, there were, but I can't speak on Trooper Morphis's.
Now, for untruthfulness for a moment, that's not necessarily synonymous with just being inaccurate, is it?
No, there's a big difference being inaccurate and being untruthful.
Now, did Mr. Morphis express that he knew he did wrong as far as the handling, the searching of her, and making the mistake about the dope?
He admitted to violating our prisoner transport policy as far as failing to search her.
And I know that the state police probably has policies or procedures on searching females, correct?
Yes.
But there is a natural hesitancy about how free you are in searching them with your hands.
There is, but there's also procedures. There's a video camera in front of the car to record those actions.
Oh, I'm not saying there's not. I can remember when somebody didn't search a female and died as a result. Now, and you may not know this, do you know what type of evaluations Officer Morphis had received during his time with the state police, his job evaluations?
I do not know.
Do you know if he had any prior disciplinary history or what the severity of it was?
I'm speaking on memory here. I believe he has had a prior disciplinary action. I don't recall if it resulted in any sort of loss of pay or...
If I said, and if you don't remember, I'm just trying to jog your memory, that it was a form of a letter of reprimand for turning off his body.
That sounds correct, yes.
Mic, and but there's no suspension or time off or for it. It was, you made a mistake, learn from it, and that never happened again.
No, I don't. This is his first time as far as losing pay.
Just a moment. Anything else? No other questions?
Thank you, Mr. Newcomb. Mr. Taylor, any follow-up?
No, sir.
Commissioners, any questions for the Colonel? Colonel, thank you very much for your testimony. Gentlemen, may this witness be excused, or does he have to stick around? What's your prerogative here?
My prerogative, the colonel can stay or leave. It's up to him.
Same for me. I just would remind him that we have a couple others that he's a witness on coming up after this. So.
Okay. He's a witness on another case coming up?
Yes, sir.
All right.
But
Well,
if he
Colonel,
was-
I tried to cut you loose, but I was unsuccessful, so.
If he needs to go back to his office, he's not far. We can get him here in a hurry if we need him. So.
Up to you, Colonel, whatever you'd like to do. Thank you, sir. All right, Mr. Taylor, do you rest?
I do.
Mr. Newcomb?
Call Mr. Morphis.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony about to give in this hearing is going to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, sir. Have a seat, please. Mr. Newcomb, please proceed.
Thank you. Would you state your name, please, for the court reporter and the commission?
Walker Morphis. It cuts out. Walker Morphis.
And when did you join the Arkansas State Police?
January of 2020 was when I initiated into troop school.
Where had you grown up in Arkansas?
Chico County. I was born and raised in Lake Village.
And prior to, well, let me ask this, how old were you when you joined the state police?
I was 22 when I went into troop school.
Prior to going to troop school, where had you gone to school?
I went to high school there locally, and then I went to college at Monticello, University of Arkansas at Monticello.
Did you graduate from Monticello?
I did. I graduated in 2019, December of 2019, in order for troop school to start in January 2020. I took a few extra credits that last year to try and speed things up so I could make that troop school.
Why did you do that?
I was ate up with it, if you will. There were two troopers there locally that really impacted me, and I kind of grew to know them very well. I lived with one of them for a few months, basically, and it's something I wanted to be a part of.
Had you been involved in any type of first responder employment prior to joining the state police?
I had, and I still am. I've been involved in the fire department for going on 10 years, and then EMS as well. While in college, I went to EMS and got my EMT then, and still practice that as well.
Where were you initially assigned after troop school?
Chico County, the place everybody wants to go.
No comment. During the time you were there, what was your assignment?
I was assigned to Highway Patrol, Troop F.
Did you have particular counties you were assigned to? Or?
So Post 3 was separated into Chico, Ashley, and Drew. That's primarily where I patrolled.
And did you have any special duties while you were on Highway Patrol?
I did. So I went and furthered my career. I went obtained my DRE SFST instructor. I was able to go around to Camden and Central here and help teach SFSTs.
What's that?
Standardized field sobriety testing. Got my senior operator, had a mobile BAC, was on the Troop F criminal patrol team, which at the time, I can't speak for how it is now, but at the time it was the top 3 in your troop was assigned to this team, where you would go out to different areas of the troop and do what they called a saturation. Then I was also involved in ERT, which was the crowd control team, if you will, go for rides. We were involved in several different saturations along West Memphis and Little Rock. I was involved with a task force with the U.S. Marshal Service here for a short time while I was on that ERT team as well.
Did you receive job evaluations during the period of time you were with the state police?
I did. I don't remember how frequently they were, but yes, I did.
And what were your evaluations generally?
Overall, they were good. There's different levels. It's 1 through 5. Overall, they were all either met expectations. There was a few that were above expectations, as well as I'm sure there were 1 or 2 that fell below expectations.
Now, we're here about an arrest of Amanda Price. Is that correct?
Amanda Prince, yes, sir.
Prince. How did you come about arresting her on the day in question?
Noticed or observed Miss Prince, her vehicle, what she'd been stopped in before. Was well aware she was driving on a suspended license due to our previous encounters, and conducted a traffic stop based on that.
When you stopped her, what did you do?
So immediately when Ms. Prince, the traffic stop was conducted, I immediately got out of my vehicle. I asked Ms. Prince to step out of her vehicle. Again, I had dealt with her several times in the past. I was complacent, and I immediately placed her under arrest for driving unsuspended.
After putting her under arrest, what did you do?
Ms. Prince was walked around to my back seat where my partition was, and she was placed in the back seat there.
Okay, were you able to see the floorboard of the back seat at that time?
I was. Prior to Ms. Prince stepping into the floorboard, yes, I could see it.
Was there anything in that floorboard at that time?
Nothing that I observed at that time, no, sir.
Did you search her properly before putting her in the car?
No, sir, I did not. Again, I was complacent. Not an excuse, but I did not search Ms. Prince properly, or at all for that matter.
Would you ever do that again?
No, sir. For being honest, I'm thankful that, not to take away from the severity of this situation, I'm just thankful that there wasn't a gun or something that was missed due to my complacency.
What about driving her to the jail? Were you able to see her at that time with a camera in the back seat?
So, while driving to the jail, yes, I mean there's a dash cam in the top right corner of my windshield. It's split in between the left side of it is the dash cam, the right side of it, if I remember correctly, was the back seat camera.
Now, how big of a screen is that? Is that like a...
I don't have a dimension. It was WatchGuard at the time. I'm not sure what it is now, but it was yay big.
Maybe 3x3?
Sure.
I'm just guessing.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Newcomb, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Sergeant, I apologize. I gave the colonel an ability to leave, but I never extended that to you as well. I do not know if you were testifying again in another case, but again, the same would be for you. If you need to go and do work, unless there's an objection from counsel, go ahead and do it. Otherwise, it's your prerogative to stick around or not. Ms. Taylor, Mr. Newcomb?
I don't have any objection. If she has things to do, we can get her back here very quickly.
Again, I should have extended you the same courtesy, and I apologize for not doing so. I'm sorry, Mr. Newcomb.
And I agree with Mr. Taylor, just for the record.
Thank you, Mr.
So
Newcomb.
she needs to go.
Thank you.
She
Yeah.
can. Now, for the benefit of the commissioners, describe that half cage that you had in your car.
So it's called a half cage. It's a partition. It's just the back passenger side. So the driver's side is obviously just a regular back seat. The back passenger side has, it makes an L, if you will. If you're sitting in the back passenger seat, you've got a partition to your left side, immediate left side, and immediately in front of you that comes down the front of the driver's seat. I'm sorry, the front passenger seat.
Okay, does it go all the way to the floor, or what happens to it when it gets to the bottom of the front seat?
It does not go all the way to the floor. It somewhat curls under the front passenger seat, leaves enough room for someone to put their feet in or feet under that seat there. It's a fairly tight space.
Okay, was there any strike that you had said you stopped before arresting her at a car wash and vacuumed out the back seat. Did you vacuum underneath the front seat?
I can't recall if I vacuumed underneath that front seat or not. What I can recall is I was at the car wash prior to stopping Miss Prince. I vacuumed in the immediate area she was sitting, and she was the first person in my back seat after that fact.
Do you have, did you later receive information that caused you to conclude that she was not the one responsible for the dope?
I did. So up until this case went to court and up until days after court, there was never an inclination that this was a bad arrest, if you will. It wasn't until several days after court, my local command staff brought me in and said, hey, I think we've got a problem. Up until that point, I had no idea, I had no thought that this narcotics did not come from her.
Prior to trial and after the time you arrested her, what did you do, if anything, to prepare for trial?
So several days prior to court, the deputy prosecutor and I met at his office in Monticello, where we viewed the entire case file from start to finish. We watched the video several times from start to finish. We sat in his office on a large flat screen television and went through every minute of the traffic stop. He and I discussed the entire case file, again, several days prior to this ever going to court.
Did you believe that she was the one that introduced the dope to your car when you testified at trial?
At the time, myself as well as the deputy prosecutor both believed that it came from Miss Prince, yes.
What about now?
After the fact and watching the video from 3 days prior, it is highly likely that the narcotics came from that gentleman 3 days prior to Miss Prince, yes.
How do you feel about that mistake?
Ashamed, embarrassed, unfortunate that it happened. There's moments like this that the justice system exists for, and I completely understand that. And I can't imagine being on the opposite side of it, knowing that if I was her, listening to myself, to the drug task force, to the prosecutor all say, this is yours, this came from you, I can't imagine what that felt like. It's unfortunate it happened. I hate it happened. I'm sorry it happened. And again, it was complacency. It was tunnel vision. It was I could sit here and feed you all excuses all day long. It was not good. It was not good.
Was there outside stresses that were going on in your life at that time?
Sure. At the time, my child was 4 months old. My firstborn child was 4 months old. He had what at the time we thought was colic, GERD, acid reflux. He's a newborn that didn't sleep. So I let my home life interfere with my work life. I let all that compile into poor attitude, poor decision making, rushed decisions, frustration, immaturity. There's a long list of things that I could go down, but long answer to your short question, yes. There was things going on at home that I let interfere with my work life.
What have you learned from this mistake?
There's a million things to learn from this, yes.
If you had this come up again with another sick baby, I think your wife is expecting, right?
Yes, sir. So this is, again, there's a million things to learn from this. Regardless of the outcome today, there's a million things to take away from this. But one of the things that I learned is to recognize the clues, recognize the warning signs, if you will, and to use the resources available that we have, whether that's through your church, if you go to church, whether that's through the wellness unit here at ASP, wherever that is, it's taught me to recognize the clues, and more importantly, it's humbled me enough and taken my pride away enough to ask for help, to use the resources available.
What are you asking the commission to do today?
Give me a chance. I understand the severity of the situation. Again, I'm not trying to deflect from that at all. I would not do that. My position from the first day that my command staff brought me in and said we have a problem was, yes, I agree. Yes, I violated policy. And I cannot blame the state police in any way for terminating me. There's several of the guys that I worked with that I still talk to, and I hope I continue to talk to them. There's no hard feelings between any of us. If anything, there's hard feelings with myself because I let myself do this. Again, I can't imagine the flip side of this, and I don't expect to. I'm just asking you all to understand that this was a mistake. This wasn't intentional in any form. There was no moment through this until well after court that I realized that we have an issue here. I thought it was a good arrest. I thought it was solid. And again, it's unfortunate. I hate it happened, and I'm sorry it happened.
Pass the witness.
Thank you, Mr. Newcomb. Mr. Taylor.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Morphis. Thank you for being here. So this December 17th traffic stop,
Yes, sir.
kind of the what it's all about here, the stop of Miss Prince. You made that stop because you knew her from previous contact to have a suspended driver's license.
Yes, sir.
And fair to say, I know we didn't play the video of that traffic stop, but we can hear you're heard talking on the video when you're talking to her during the stop. This was obviously not the first time you dealt with this individual.
No,
In
sir.
fact, I think there was mention that maybe this was she had 5 prior tickets for driving unsuspended, or five prior charges at least.
There were several, yes, sir.
During any of these encounters, were these all previous stops that you had made with her personally, or?
No, sir. I don't recall exactly out of the. I had 2 or 3. I'd have to go back and look. I don't remember exactly how
But
many.
you'd had more than one previous contact with her.
Yes, sir.
Was she ever physically arrested during any of those previous contacts?
Not that I can recall, no, sir.
Was her vehicle impounded during any of those other encounters?
I do not recall.
Okay. Were any narcotics ever found either on Miss Prince or in her vehicle during any of your previous encounters?
Not any of my previous encounters, no, sir.
And in fact, on this encounter on December 17th, you did impound the vehicle and an inventory was conducted.
That is correct, yes, sir.
Were any narcotics or drug paraphernalia found in the vehicle?
No, sir, not that I remember.
Any large amounts of cash?
No, sir.
Any weapons?
No, sir, not that I remember.
Based on your training and experience, is it common for people who possess and sell drugs to also carry cash, sometimes in large amounts?
Sure.
Sometimes they carry weapons? And you said Miss Prince didn't have any cash or any weapons on this encounter or any of the other ones that you can recall?
Not that I can recall, no, sir.
Okay. You wrote in your report that you had just prior to the stop of Miss Prince vacuumed out your rear seat and you didn't see the bag of what ended up being crack cocaine at the time. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You also wrote and told Agent Slaughter of the DPS that you had, quote, reviewed your car camera footage and had observed Miss Prince moving very erratically and digging in her waistband shortly before the drugs were discovered. Do you recall writing that?
And make sure my terms are correct. You know, the incident report, sir?
I believe it is on page. Yeah, if you look at our Exhibit 4, page 114, I believe that's a copy of your police report.
Yes, sir. So the last paragraph is what you're referencing, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So a review of my backseat camera revealed Ms. Prince moving very erratically for a short period of time and appeared to be digging in her waistline shortly before the narcotics were found.
Okay. Did you actually review the entirety of the footage, or were you just relying on the fact that you hadn't seen the drugs when you vacuumed out the seat earlier?
The entirety of the footage was not viewed prior to writing this, no, sir, not the entirety of it.
Did you review portions of it?
So after the narcotics were found and Ms. Prince walked into the jail, sat down in my car on the little small screen, the little watch guard, and viewed from the point that she was placed in my back seat to when we arrived at the jail. It obviously skipped ahead the 20-second mark on the watch guard. Yes, sir.
You testified earlier that prior to trial, you sat down with the prosecutor or the deputy prosecutor who was going to be prosecuting Ms. Prince, and that you went over, I think your words were, we went over everything from basically from A to Z. We went over all the exhibits. You mentioned that you watched the entire video on a bigger screen. You weren't when you were reviewing this in the prosecutor's office, you weren't on your tiny little screen, right?
That's correct.
Okay. And presumably this is the same video that you watched later in your interviews with OPS, correct?
Correct.
And in your interview with OPS, you acknowledge that at no point in the video do you see her moving very erratically or digging in her waistband.
During my interview with OPS, I could not point to a specific time, for instance, 10 minutes, 20 seconds, or whenever. I could not point to a specific time during that video that she could be seen moving very erratically, digging in her waistline. A specific time could not be pointed out.
But you wrote in your report that you did see it happen.
I wrote in my report, yes, a review of my backseat camera revealed Ms. Prince moving very erratically for a short period of time.
But you, in talking with Lieutenant Daniels, you acknowledged, no, I can't see it. I don't see her digging in her waistband.
I saw something when I reviewed that small screen in my car that made myself confident that it came from her at that time. I saw, watching through the rifle and the shotgun and all that in the partition, I felt at the time what was erratic movement. And I felt at the time what I saw was digging in her waistline.
And when you see that, you're not able to tell them during the review, right there, that's where.
Not after court and my eyes had been open to where the narcotics had highly likely came from.
Would you agree that if you had not reviewed the footage but wrote that you did, that would be a lie?
I'm sorry.
Would you agree that if you wrote in your report that you reviewed the footage when in fact you had not reviewed the footage, that would be a lie?
Sure, yes, sir.
What would have been wrong with just sticking with the statement you were absolutely 100% confident was the truth, which is, hey, I basically said this was hers because I vacuumed out the car just a few minutes before, and it wasn't there then, and it's there now. What would have been wrong with just relying on that?
Nothing.
Did you feel like maybe you had to embellish the case to make it stronger by talking about what you saw in the video?
No, sir. I just felt like what I saw at the time was accurate, an accurate representation of what happened.
And do you agree when you reviewed the footage with OPS during their investigation, you had to agree that you didn't see anywhere in the video where she was moving erratically or digging in her waistband? You said you couldn't point to a time.
That's correct. We could not find a specific time in that video.
Okay, so why would you write in your report that she was seen moving very erratically and digging in her waistband when you just said, but I really couldn't say when it happened?
again, at the time of this report, that was written based off what I saw on the small watch guard screen. What I believed at the time to be erratic movement for a short period.
But just before the trial, you had an opportunity to review this with the prosecutor ahead of trial, and that was not on a little tiny screen.
That's correct.
And you watched the entirety of the video.
That's correct. And the deputy prosecutor and I agreed.
Agreed on what?
That this is what we were going to trial on.
Okay. Did OPS review a stop from 3 days previous, December 14th with you? The one involving the male subject, 104 miles an hour that we did see?
Yes, sir.
After reviewing the footage from your car on that stop, do you agree the drugs you found on the 17th were most likely discarded by that individual?
It's highly likely, yes.
We talked earlier about your training and experience, not unusual for people who possess and sell narcotics to have cash, weapons, and so forth. In fact, I think during the stop you heard, very early in the stop, you asked him, where's the weed? This car smells like weed.
Yes, sir.
Was any marijuana found in the car?
I don't recall.
Okay. Was he charged with possession of marijuana? Do you know?
I don't recall.
Did that individual also have a loaded firearm in his possession?
He had a firearm. I don't recall if it was loaded, but I did see a firearm, yes, sir.
And did he have $3,600 in cash?
I have no reason to dispute that.
How did it make you feel knowing that you had charged Ms. Prince with a serious offense and that it's now beginning to look like she was not responsible for that?
Horrible. It's one of those things that stick around with you. And I think it should stick with you. If you care enough about this job and you care enough about the people you're dealing with, I think it should stick with you. But yes, it kept me awake for a long time. It's kept me awake since then. It humbled me a lot. I'll say that.
Can you understand why the state police have lost faith in your ability to continue to serve?
I have absolutely no reason to disagree with the state police terminating me based off the policies.
Why should this commission allow you to keep your certification?
Just ask that you all can see, hopefully, that this was a mistake and it wasn't intentional, and that this, as unfortunate and wrong as it is, can be used from decades on as an example of what happens if you're complacent, what happens if you're unprofessional, what happens if you let your work, or your home interfere with your work. Regardless of the outcome today, this has again taught me so many things, and I want to be able to use these things to better this career. There's so many young people that want to get in law enforcement. I'm sure not nearly as many as it used to be, but I think it's a learning point, and I'd like to be able to use that.
Okay. Thank you. I don't have anything further.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor. Mr. Newcomb, any follow-up?
No follow-up.
Thank you, Mr. Newcomb. Commissioners, any questions?
I had several written down.
All right. Apparently not, sir. Go ahead and resume your seat if you could.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Newcomb, do you rest?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Taylor, how about a closing?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Commissioners, this case comes down to whether you or not you feel respondent was untruthful in his official report. I think the evidence clearly establishes that he was. The respondent would have you believe that while yes, he was sloppy, careless, lackadaisical in his approach to his duties, which is bad enough, but he wasn't deliberately dishonest. The impediment to that conclusion comes down to the video, which we've stipulated to. In his report, as well as his statement to Agent Slaughter from the Drug Task Force, the respondent unequivocally states that, quote, in reviewing my car camera, Ms. Prince is seen moving very erratically and digging in her waistband shortly before the drugs were found. He's testified today that he couldn't really point to any spot in the video where he saw this, but in his report he says, "I saw this shortly before the drugs were found." When the entirety of the video is played for him on a larger screen, he can't see what he claims to have seen. Nobody can, because it didn't happen. So why would he write this in his report? I think he tells us the answer when he's speaking to Ms. Prince at the jail. He tells her he knows the drugs have to be hers because he just earlier had vacuumed the seat out and he didn't see the drugs then. He tells her she's the only one to have been in the car since the stop at the car wash, so of course the drugs have to be hers. I submit that if he had simply stopped there with what he knew to be true, that he had vacuumed the car earlier and not seen the drugs, and used that alone as the basis to charge Ms. Prince, I don't know if we'd be here today. True enough, a judge or a prosecutor may not have found that sufficient to charge, but even if they had, those charges would have been based on honest, factual testimony. The problem is when Mr. Morphis attempts to bolster the case with a cherry on top. He's convinced the drugs are hers because he didn't see them at the car wash when he vacuumed. Sure, he could watch the entirety of the 42-minute video, but recall the other statements he made to OPS. I didn't buckle her in. I didn't want to bend over. I was lazy. I had a pathetic attitude. Is it a stretch to conclude that he just said he reviewed the footage, adding details to bolster what he was already convinced was true in his mind? I don't think it is. He climbed out on a limb, embellished his report to add credibility, and figured if anyone bothered to watch the video, they would see what he imagined he would see had he bothered to watch the video. The problem for the respondent is the video doesn't show what he told us it would show. He can't argue anything else. He either never watched the video and simply guessed wrongly that it would show what he was convinced it would show, or, and potentially worse, he did review the video, then lied about what he actually saw. Either way, that inaccuracy, that dishonesty, caused a citizen of this state to be falsely accused of a serious felony drug charge for which she could have spent 6 years in prison. Pathetic attitudes can and should result in discipline, even up to and including dismissal, which the Arkansas State Police has chosen to do in this case. But the dishonesty calls for something more. We say all the time in these hearings there are no little lies in law enforcement, and this case is a prime example. The lie in this case could have cost someone 6 years of their life. I respectfully submit findings of fact and conclusions of law in this case have been met, and that you vote to decertify Christian Morphis. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor. Mr. Newcomb?
Thank you, Mr. Hearing Officer and members of the commission. I'm going to simplify this somewhat on the findings of fact. I have no argument on any of them except number 14. He's admitted he should have been fired. He's admitted that he didn't act in conformity with policy on searching her. He admitted that he was sloppy that day. The question is, and he's admitted that, and admitted in OPS, and admitted to the chain of command when they talked to him that, the video doesn't do it. Now, what the mind does, how it can trick you, there's no dispute that there was dope in the car. There's no dispute that he vacuumed the car. There's no dispute that after he got to the jail, there was dope in the floorboard. Now, the dope, nobody's ever, I was going to say nobody, the woman's lawyers allege that the state police covered up him hiding the dope in the car in a lawsuit. But the state police has never alleged that he planted the dope. Yes, they went back and found that there was a suspect that probably highly likely had the dope and would have been able to drop it on the floor and push it up underneath the front seat. So that's where it came from. Was he incorrect in the dope? Yes. he was not untruthful in the sense that he deliberately, intentionally made the story up. As counsel said, he could have stayed with the story of, I found the dope, she was the only one back there, and that would have been the end of it. But he honestly, after looking at the screens, saw on that small screen and got in his mind that he had seen her move. It's interesting to me whether that obviously may, by OPS's review of the tape, showed that her movement was not there. But in his mind, he thought he saw it on that very small screen. That was in his report. Counsel makes a point, and I agree with him, that he looked at it on a large screen. And he admitted he couldn't point to, at 10 minutes and 32 seconds, that's where the head moved. But what I find interesting along the same lines, if it was so obvious that he made it up, counsel is implying that the deputy prosecutor put on knowingly false testimony. I'm not saying the deputy prosecutor did, but he put that testimony on after reviewing the tape, so he had a reasonable belief that there was evidence of that. Otherwise, he could not have ethically gone forward with the case. So the question is not whether he should have been fired from the state police. As he says, he understands that is the reason. But is this, with no other disciplinaries, a good performance, a desire to serve, a showing desire to serve, that he should not be decertified? And I ask that you not decertifying, and that you find that while he was incorrect, with hindsight by a lot of people looking at it on the video, he was not untruthful. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Newcomb. Mr. Taylor, any rebuttal?
No, sir.
All right, with that, I'll call the evidentiary part of the record to a close. Commission's going to go ahead and go off the record. They will deliberate, and once there is a decision, they will come back on the record and announce that decision with a motion and vote. We are off the record.
All right, if anyone want to go first, make a statement, begin the discussion.
I'm going to abstain from the vote. My brother signed the letter of termination.
Yeah.
I was curious about that, but I didn't want to open up Pandora's box for you, Commissioner. So, all right. So we've got, just for the, can we go back on the record, Cody? Just for the record, Commissioner Hayward went ahead and recused from this matter. So we've got two recusals, Commissioner Hagar, and we got Commissioner Rhodes. All right, we're back off the record.
All right, anyone left want to begin the discussion? All right, we don't want to just...
A couple of things bother me.
Okay, go ahead.
A couple of things really bother me. The demonstrably false statement in the report, whether that came through misinterpretation, a mistake, the way it's written is this happened, and you combine that with the results, which is, we agree, I think, that we charged an innocent person with narcotics. And that's what we get accused of so many times when we're trying to do the job absolutely the right way. I can have probable cause, I can do a proper search, I can find the evidence, and somebody's going to be accusing me of planting those drugs. And now, we've got a case, and I am not alleging that you planted any drugs, But here we've got a case for that victim's family, for the rest of their lives. The police put those drugs on me and tried to put me in prison for them. And I have a real problem with that going forward just because of the trust that we expect both for and to law enforcement. I would support decertification.
Anyone else? Okay, you've heard Commissioner Montgomery's analysis. So as we go, if we go back on the record, when we go back on the record, do we have someone who is willing to make a recommendation for the commission to consider? Okay, we're ready.
All right, we're back on the record. The commission, I believe, has reached a decision in this hearing. Mr. Chairman.
All right, in the matter of Christian Morphis, do I have a recommendation?
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that the finding of fact inclusion law has been met, and we move to decertify former trooper Christian Morphis.
All right, we have a motion from Commissioner Wood, the second from Commissioner Montgomery, that the finding of fact and conclusion of law have been met, and that we move forward with the decertification of Christopher Morphis. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Mr. Chairman, I will note for the record the decision of the commission was unanimous, with the exception of those two commissioners that have accused. I will ask staff to reduce the decision of the commission to writing. Please make sure Mr. Newcomb and the respondent gets a copy of it, along with an information sheet or cover letter notifying them of their appeal rights. No further questions or comments. I'll call this hearing to a close.